Good morning, everybody. Happy to meet you again this morning. Today, we were supposed to make a recap of what we have learned from day 8 to yesterday, but I look at the outline and I said we can do that at day 21 or as well as we can do that at day 30. I said let's move to work. So we have pointed out the things that have made you to start and don't finish, the thing that has made you to start things with a lot of motivation. At the end of the day, you are ending with a deeper regret. The overthinking, the inner voices have been talking to you that you have been even misinterpreting and calling some that my conscience did not allow me. You have separated them and you have called them out by names, making you to understand who was saying what and what was the meaning of it and why you should not listen to such. So what we are going to be looking at today is another block that we are going to be molding back into your life so that at the end of these 30 days, you're going to have the result that you were promised. And one of them is self-leadership. Self-leadership, as the word stands, is being a leader, like lead yourself, how to become a leader by your own self. And we are going to be looking at it versus motivation. So this model will help you to continually evaluate your values while you are actively working to bring your life into alignment in the area of progress, discipline, and success. So, so motivations, so self-leadership and motivation. Motivation starts the movement, while look at self-leadership and motivation. Motivation will start the movement, while leadership sustain it. Motivation will start the movement while leadership will sustain it. So motivation is like a spark. It's like the key that has opened the door and that's all. But the journey into the room, the journey into your seat, the journey into the ladders that you're going to climb from the day that door was open is the self-leadership. By the end, you will stop chasing feelings and start leading themselves consistently. You stop chasing your feelings. I feel like I should read. I feel like I should start doing this. I feel like I should start doing this. Or you understand, you're going to be understanding it as we are progressing. So, who is a leader? A leader is not defined by a title, followers, or loud influence. A leader is someone who can direct themselves before directing others. You get it now? You should be able to direct yourself before you can be able to direct others. So, from all that we have been learning, it should make you to be able to direct yourself. Yes, if you can look back at what we have learned, you understand that all that will make you a good leader because you can direct yourself. You can, you can, you don't depend on external approval. You don't depend on external validation. You know how to interpret the inner voice that is talking to you and silence it. You know what imposter syndrome is, and you know how to handle it. All those type of things. So, core trait of a true leader. A true leader acts from values, not motives. A true leader takes responsibility without excuses. A true leader makes decisions aligned with long-term vision. A true leader leads even when no one is watching. Self-leadership is the foundation of all external leadership. Any other leadership you are going to do, whatsoever millions of people you are going to change their lives, self-leadership starts with you. It starts with you. You are not that type of person that you do eye service. It is only when somebody sees you that you are able to do something. You are not that type of person. So this will also point to some type of characters that we portray in our offices that we are supposed to stop. Some people, when the boss is not there, they are the noisemakers. But when the boys come, you see them trying to be forcing questions on people because they want to give an impression to the boss that they are the most serious ones. What is leadership then? Leadership is the ability to influence direction through clarity. People will not follow a leader because you are called a leader. They will follow because of clarity. They are seeing your result. They are seeing clearly what you are doing and the result that you're having. Consistency and character. That is, a leadership is the ability to influence direction through clarity, consistency, and character. At the self level, leadership means regulating emotions. If you are able to regulate your emotions, managing your thoughts, controlling actions, choosing discipline over comfort. A leader is that type of person that will still tell you that it is 8 p.m. but we have not met our target. So we push harder because we have to meet this target today. And it will make it in such a way that you will not even be angry. You're going to feel happy doing it because the environment will be very conducive for you. Leadership is identity based. This is, who am I, regardless of how I feel. It is identity based. We spoke about identity. So it is all about defending that title of who you are. It is not all about how you are feeling now, who you are. So what is motivation on the other hand? Motivation is an emotional spark, a temporal drive triggered by inspiration, pain, fear, or desire. I hope you got the definition of that. That motivation I have been depending on to succeed, that motivation I have been depending on to make money online. Do you hear the definition? It is a emotional spark, a temporal drive triggered. That's why you could not succeed. Key characteristics of motivation. Emotion driven. It is always emotion driven. It is always short lived. It is external or internally triggered. It fluctuates daily. That is it. Somebody was some I remember. Oh, I've seen all type of things this in this online. I remember in my early days of affiliate marketing, they may well not really in my early days, like middle days. Somebody told me that I will register today. Please, can you give me any information that will motivate me to register? Oh, la, la. I told the person that I am not a motivational speaker. It is either he is looking at his life and is seeing that affiliate marketing can be one of the ways he can earn money online to help himself. Motivation is useful but unreliable. If you rely on motivation, you are going to fail. Self-leadership versus motivation. Let us dive deep and see these differences clearly. Motivation is based on feelings, while self-leadership is based on identity. Motivation starts with action, while leadership sustains action. Motivation is inconsistent, while leadership is stable. Motivation needs inspiration. You must inspire him before you see his real color, while leadership needs discipline. Motivation is reactive, while leadership is intentional. If you look at all what the motivation is saying, you will understand why you could not go far. You can go back and read again. Motivation gets you started, self-leadership gets you finished. I hope somebody is getting this. It is hitting so hard. You depended on motivation, you got started. You could not continue because you did not have self-leadership. Because that was what will have helped you to finish. Similarities between leadership and motivation. They both influence behavior. They both can increase performance. They both can affect confidence and result. They both can impact success trajectory. Differences is depth. Let me just say differences between motivation and self-leadership. Motivation excites while leadership transforms. How leadership and motivation influence success. People who rely on motivation, people who rely on motivation quite frequently. Start often quite frequently. They perform well only when conditions are right. They depend on external validation. That's one bad thing. So, are you seeing how those things are interrelated? You should look at yourself and know where you belong. Because they are telling us now that if you are dependent on motivation, you st- your motivation, that people who rely on motivation start often. They're always starting. How so many things to start? So many things to start. In a year from January to December, they can start like 5 different online courses and quit frequently. They perform well only when conditions are right and they depend on external validation. The very external validation that we are saying will no longer stand for that. That is what, if you are somebody who has not moved from motivation to discipline, you will find yourself still entangling in those type of things that we were talking about. As you are seeing how motivation is depending on external validation, of which that is something that we really spoke it out and said it is not good to depend on that. People who practice self-leadership, they stay consistent in discomfort. They outgrow excuses. They build trust with themselves. They stand out naturally through reliability because they have the track record. They can show you the footprint from where they're coming from. And they have weaknesses that show it too. Success favors the self-led, not the emotionally driven. What it takes to be a good leader, awareness is always the first. You cannot lead what you don't understand. You know your triggers, you understand your patterns, you identify strength and blind spots. Self-awareness turns reactions into choices. Yes, you will not react to anything when you know yourself already, when you know your identity and you are in this journey of self-leadership. Self-awareness turns reaction into choices. Number two, emotional regulation. After awareness is emotional regulation. A good leader does not eliminate emotions, they manage them. Because first of all, it's not even easy to eliminate emotions. They feel fear but act anyway. They feel tired but stay disciplined. They feel doubt without surrendering. Emotional mastery separates leaders from followers. Leaders are those who have mastered their emotions very well. Three, personal responsibility. Leaders do not outsource blame. No victim mindset. No waiting for perfect condition. No dependency on motivation. They act anyways. Responsibility creates power. When you are responsible, when you take charge of your life, automatically you have power, you have authority. Vision and direction. Leaders move with purpose, clear goals, long-term thinking, daily alignment with visions. Without vision, discipline collapse. Discipline collapse because you may be in your start in a carrefour or at a crossroads while you standing and waiting for things to be stable and you can move to the next level. Somebody in your team now will just start like um so the person will be like he's not seeing clear, he's not seeing the direction that you are taking. You will see that pressure of standing. You will collapse, you will get tired and you will sit down or you will go back because you were at the crossroads. He wanted everything to be going. He doesn't want any stop. Any small stop is like, oh, we'll have go fast. Why do you know why that type of person is hearing? He said it because he wants to go and reach fast and come back. Anybody who is going to a journey that knows that this journey is changing my levels and I'm moving, I'm taking a path that I will never come back to it because I'm going to go higher. You will never even be in a hurry when there's a slowdown, when there's a break, when something is slowing a person down, he is never in a hurry to move fast. 5, decision making ability. Leaders decide even when uncertain. The progress over perfection, commitment over comfort, action over overthinking. Indecision is silent. Indecision is silent self-sabotage. Indecision, we are getting another thing again. One of the trend that has been disturbing us. Indecision. Should we go? Should we not go? You are just dancing. You don't even know where to belong. It brings self-sabotage. Number 6, inconsistency over intensity. Leaders value systems, not burst. Small actions done daily, non-negotiable habits, progress over hyper. Consis ten cy builds credibility. The more you start your page from day one to 30 million followers, it is an evidence that you did it yourself and you become very much reliable, that you can pull 200 buyers in one day over a product and people will buy, and those people will beg you to buy. What you should learn from the class of today is stop asking how do I feel today, start asking who am I leading myself to become. Motivation, faith, self-leadership compounds. Choose that which will compound to form something that will give you a cold head in your old age. Closing remarks: you don't rise to the level of motivation you feel, you rise to the level of leadership you practice. That is mindset shift. So practice to be a leader. Practice to be a leader and thank God they have come with this motivation stuff again. Know it and know it very well. When you know it by its name and you call it, that's when its power shrinks. So do that because you are doing it for yourself. Thank you. I like the fact that classes these days are becoming too short, and it's okay like that.